Good evening. Well, I made it. Hope everybody's doing well. Well, let's start out with something cool. Had an unexpected visitors plural today. And that was awesome. Sister Haney, I'm trying to make sure I get the names right. Sister Haney and Sister Delinga, is that right? I think I got it that time. They came by to visit, and I'll tell you what, I had the most, what's the right word? Let me think of the right word. Exhilarating conversation with her about the word today, and that was awesome. So that was really awesome. So got to share some more testimony with her, some more of my testimony. Likewise, got to hear more of hers, and yeah, just incredible visit as usual. Every time they come, it's a pleasure. It's great. So anyway, drama. So not going to deal with that. I made a video that covers it, just in case, because I didn't think I was going to be able to. I thought there was a very good likelihood I wasn't going to be able to stream tonight. And if by chance you don't see me pop on tomorrow or something like that, you don't see anything going on, there is a backup channel, as well as, you can either, I post the live shows. I post over on Patreon. I post the link to them, to the public. When I say that, it's a public link. In other words, you don't have to be a patron to get the link. You can just go over there and get the link. And if I go poof, that's one place you'll be able to find, one way you'll be able to find. Go to the website. I know there ain't nothing there, but if I go poof, I will put something right there on the homepage, right? Just thewatchmannews.com. So, I'll just, and I know there's nothing there right now. Let's see. Other than that, I don't know. Don't have any real big updates as far as, we're concerned. Just had that incredible visit today. Other than that, just, trying to keep at it. Trying to better organize even more than what I have been, and I'm telling you, I got it about as packed. I'll be making a video soon. Oh, thank you. Is it Period, I guess, maybe Period, and I apologize profusely if, and likely did, I mispronounced it. But thank you. Yep, still kicking. Oh, Pepe, just okay. That's easy. Thank you, sir. I'll tell you what, I don't think I can pack much more in over there. All I can do is point for you. I don't think I can pack much more in over there. So I'll be making a video on that real shortly on how I've got that set up. It's really nothing special. Pardon me. I just ran out of room, and I had to create room somewhere. We got a tiny place, and so that was the best place I could think of. And I'd been eyeing that up for quite some time, that spot. And right shortly before we moved, I got the rack, and I'll show it on a video. I got the rack because one of our neighbors moved, and he wasn't taking it with him, and his heavy-duty rack, and so I nabbed it, and that's what, it's set outside for like over a year, and then I actually took the small grow tent down, and that's where the rack is. It's in place of where the small grow tent was, and you'll see. I'll be doing a video probably within the coming couple of days or so. I'm pretty well ready, I think, to do that. Free Think Radio. Wow. Okay. Um, that is somewhat ringing a bell. Can you just ring it a little bit harder, or you can smack the hell out of me with it? That's fine too. But can you just ring that bell just a little bit more? Because the Free Think Radio is it's familiar. Can you give me any other kind of names associated or anything like that? Because I want to remember. I'm good at remembering stuff. So, let's see. And I've got that pretty well squared away. Actually have a shelf in there, almost a full shelf open. We still have 7 cans of the potato shreds, Augustin Farm potato shreds. We got 7 cans yet that will be here sometime this coming month. And then, let's see. That's really about it until I get a chance to order more stuff. And that's what I've been doing. I've been hitting the food. I mean, I am like many and put that off. And please don't do that. I failed in that just like a lot of people do. Was it on you? I'm assuming it was on YouTube. Your host Lawrence CFR. Free Think Radio. So help me out as far as like where that was. If it was YouTube or if it was a podcast somewhere. And maybe a time, how long ago, maybe? Because it would be really odd for me not to be able to remember that. I just have to find the right trigger to open up the right file cabinet, if you will. My brain is really weird the way it stores things. But you hit that right trigger and I'll remember. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing is trying to go over anything and everything I can, making sure batteries are good to go. I actually cycled the Unkers. Well, I've been working on, you guys know, I've been playing around with squirrel pictures. I don't even think I showed you the last one I did. I've been playing around with squirrel pictures, and so what I do is the DJI Pocket 2 will only run for so long because it's got a small battery, and so I hook a power pack to it, just an Anker. And I did mine. I think they're the 13,000 mAh Ankers. We got them years ago, and so that's what I use. And I drained them. That's the first time ever that those devices have been drained and refilled, totally drained and refilled. We've had them for years. They stay in our radio bag, our ham radio bag, and I make sure that they're good to go and everything's functioning. And aside from that, that's that. Okay, so it's not the most clear picture in the world because you're talking about. I mean, it was 4K 60 video. But that's just a screen grab from the video. So I don't think I went in to the other video to even. No, I didn't even go in and edit it. So, and then the one. Oh, no, see, and that's a whole one that I have to go through yet. And I showed, I showed you the other various ones the other day. So anyway, I know, lame. It is what it is. So I've done that. I've got those cycled. First time since we've owned them. Out of Canada. Oh. I actually do think I remember that now. I believe I remember that now. I do believe I remember that now. That was, that was like right in the beginning of when we started, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like right in the beginning. I think I remember that. And wasn't that with, you say Free Think Radio? Were you involved too with the Saving the Truth network? Were you a part of that as well? Because that was like right as soon as I started this 2014 Saving the Truth network. It was a small group of channels, and we were trying to save the truth is what essentially we were trying to do. We had few meetings. Dabu even came in a little bit for one of the meetings, but that was again long time ago. I don't know if that's any reference to what you're speaking of as well, but that was craziness then too. Let's see. Let me go ahead and do some news stuff. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking right around that period. Okay. I've got a very vague recollection. It's pretty vague though. Let's see. This is like crazy. 5 people attacked monk, stole cash from Buddhist temple in South Nashville, police say. And I know I lisped that to hell. Metro police are searching for 5 people involved in an attack at a Buddhist temple over the weekend. I mean, this gets crazy. Yeah, see, it seems like I remember that. It says here, officers said the 5 people attacked a monk and robbed the Wat Lao Buddhist temple on Old Hickory Boulevard. The victim reported that he heard a knock on the door around 9 a.m. Sunday, said when he cracked open the door, alleged robbers forced their way inside and knocked him to the ground. And the Metro Police said the suspects appear to be 4 women, one of which was carrying a toddler, and a man. And there is indeed a video of it, and it's like, wow, that's the lady that's carrying the toddler, and momentarily here you'll see others enter the frame. And then that's the monk right there. They've actually got the monk right now. They've got a hold of him, trying to, I guess, pull him away. Yeah, and then they all took off. Monk goes chasing after him. That's just nuts. And it was apparently a robbery. Now, gosh, I don't really want to go there. There are some obvious things about the individuals in the video. Or at least it appears obvious to me. And I'm not even sure exactly what nationality they are, but they all appear to be the same nationality. Why would I point that out? I hate to even do it because the finger pointing that goes on when you do that, but I think if I can tell correctly from what I'm seeing in the video, it appears to be, and I'm not an expert on geography, individuals that come from the same area that the Buddhists come from, right? So the only reason I'm bringing that up, it's not about pointing fingers or anything like that, but it's probably they know the temple is what my point is. They're probably familiar with the temple. I find this amazing. If they are affiliated with the temple, wow. I mean, that's going to be crazy on a whole another level. But wow, that's just to me crazy. Anyway, I'm actually going to try to remember to keep an eye out for that. It's crazy. Let's see. Sip of coffee. Russian troops advance in Donbass, says Defense Ministry. Now, BP Earthwatch put out a video earlier in which you talked about quite a few casualties and stuff. I don't know. I don't think that this article makes the claims that BP had made. I'm not saying BP's wrong whatsoever. I'm just saying this is the article I have. It doesn't quite make those claims, but I'll tell you what this says. It says the Russian military reported new advances in the north of the Donetsk People's Republic on Wednesday. Multiple locations have been liberated on the outskirts of the town of Bakhmut, a major stronghold held by Ukrainian forces, which has seen intense fighting in recent weeks. On the Donetsk axis, the settlements of I suck at these. Below Gorovka and Pershi-Tavnya, and I'm sure those are way wrong, of the Donetsk People's Republic were completely liberated during offensive actions by Russian troops. The Defense Ministry said in its daily briefing, adding that up to 50 Ukrainian servicemen, 4 armored combat vehicles, 3 self-propelled artillery units, and 6 soft vehicles were destroyed. The village is a small settlement located some 20 kilometers northeast of Bakhmut. The second settlement mentioned in the briefing is presumably the village of Azarad. Oh man, I can't say. It's located about 12 kilometers south of the town. It was known by the name of Pershi-Tavnya, something to that effect, before 2016, but was then renamed under Kiev's decommunization efforts. So, I'm not exactly sure on the timeline of events, how all this played out. I would imagine, I don't know. I'm just not sure. However, let me continue. U.S. considering Patriot missiles for Ukraine. And this is just more of the same thing that I've been pointing out for quite some time now. You know, they start out saying, well, we're not going to supply this, we're not going to supply that, we're only going to do this or that. And then next thing you know, it's blank checks and full gambit of weapons. You know, I think it was yesterday I spoke on an article about how NATO is now thinking about F-16s and MiG-29s, you know. And I can remember back in the beginning when they, oh no, we can't do that. And then they started supplying aircraft parts and saying, well, they're the parts, they're not the entire aircraft. So, and I said back then that they were going to start doing this. And looks like we're right there upon it for both the aircraft and things like Patriots. I don't know what to tell you guys on it. You know, you know me, I'm not going to jump out and I know all the answers. This is what's going on. I'm going to sit back and say, well, you know what? I'm not sure really what's going on because we could all be getting played, to be real honest. And I think that's got the highest likelihood of any scenario is that it's all a bunch of BS. It is the rumors of wars that the good book speaks about. That's my opinion. But nonetheless, it still affects us in the same way, whether it's for appearances or the real deal. Just insane. However, continuing on with the insanity that is the Ukrainian conflict, Bear Grylls now survives in war-torn Ukraine. Yeah, not kidding you. And I've pointed out multiple occasions now where Zelensky has taken photo shoots and all that stuff with all kinds of Hollywood people, and it's just insane. And now here, that TV star and former SAS trooper Bear Grylls has been spotted in Ukraine, local media outlets reported on Wednesday, with footage of the presenter and his film crew circulating online. Grylls, who is now sporting a mustache, was seen filming at a gas station as well as socializing and taking selfies with its staff. It was not immediately clear what exactly Grylls was doing in the country, which has been locked in a conflict with Russia since late February. Well, he's there for, you know, it's nuts. It is a reality TV war. Given the circumstances, the presenter is likely either seeking to film the hardships locals are experiencing or potentially testing his own survival skills in the war-torn country. So, again, it's just insanity. Just insanity. Coffee. Continuing on. I have quick and easy news tonight. I've got 3 more tabs and then the headlines. A U.S. Space Force to track North Korean missiles. Damn it, I forgot. And I need that button really bad. Space Force, because I suck at that. Anyway, this says the United States Space Force, I'll forego doing it, is working to create an early warning system for North Korean missile launches, a top commander has revealed, hoping to step up surveillance following a record number of weapons tests by Pyongyang this year. I'll be able to read, maybe, tomorrow. Addressing a webinar held by the Washington-based Mitchell Institute, maybe not tomorrow, for aerospace studies on Tuesday, U.S. Space Command Head General James Dickinson outlined the service's plans in the Indo-Pacific, where it set up its first-ever component command unit last week. We are looking at how we integrate a sensor architecture that gives us as much warning as possible in terms of any type of missile activity out of North Korea, he said, noting that Washington would share information with regional partners and allies and seek ways to incorporate commercial sensors into the new warning system. Though the Space Force only established its first operational unit in the Indo-Pacific just days ago, Dickinson observed that the branch already maintained a coordination relationship with the broader military and would continue to develop those ties. So this is something to keep an eye on, and not just because, they're going to tell you, oh, this is to track North Korea. But if you think it ends there, I've got some bridges and all kinds of property to sell you. NATO reaffirms its pledge to expand into Ukraine and Georgia despite the conflict. So, from the beginning, the red line has been NATO expansion, especially into Ukraine. Now, early on we heard a lot of rhetoric about NATO just bringing Ukraine right in, even though that kind of goes against their rules. And at first it looked to be a reasonable concern, and then it kind of backed down quite a bit, and there was a lot of politicians and stuff that were backtracking on things that they had said, and saying that more or less it's not that easy, which not supposed to be. And now we've flopped right back to where apparently we were. Just real quick read a little bit. NATO has reiterated its 2008 pledge to admit Ukraine and Georgia, both neighbors to Russia, insisting that the organization will continue to expand in its presence in the former Soviet Union. Moscow has repeatedly warned that it regards the encroachment of the military bloc towards its borders as a major security threat. Following meetings in the Romanian capital of Bucharest on Tuesday, NATO foreign ministers issued a statement reaffirming 14-year-old attempt on someday grant membership to Kiev and Tbilisi. Yeah. Okay. No, that was written correctly. I just not reading correctly. Joined by counterparts from the two states, as well as Bosnia and Herzegovina and Moldova, the foreign ministers said they firmly stand behind our commitment to the alliance's open-door policy and reaffirm the decisions we took at the 2008 Bucharest summit and all subsequent decisions with respect to Georgia and Ukraine. So again, it really seems like they're throwing that back on, and I'm not necessarily saying the immediate imminent table, but definitely within range. They kind of, when they were backtracking, they were really kind of trying to push it way out, it seemed like, at least out of people's minds. And then this really doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Alright. This is the last article I have open. Then we got the headlines, and we should be good. Drug and alcohol deaths increasing among U.S. adults 65 and older, CDC says. Yikes. That really kind of caught me when I saw that. No hookers. No hookers. No hookers. Alright, deadly drug misuse and alcohol abuse appear to be on the rise among older Americans, according to two new reports released by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Death rates from drug overdoses among adults 65 and over have more than tripled in the past 2 decades, increasing more among men than women between 2000 and 2020. The data also showed some racial differences, suggesting that alcohol-induced death rates in adults 65 and older were highest for American Indian or Alaska Native adults, followed by Hispanic, white, black, and Asian adults. Non-Hispanic black men 65 and older had higher drug overdose death rates than white and Hispanic men, while white women 75 and older had the highest rate of death from drug overdoses. Researchers didn't analyze what factors could be driving the increases, but say it's not unreasonable to think that the forces affecting younger people also affect people 65 and older. And I would, I would agree with that, and I would also, I would like to know the factors myself. I would like to know, specifically for one, I'd like to know how much of it's accidental. If we're talking about elderly people, they could be accidentally overdosing themselves. So that's the important thing, in my opinion, to know is how many times is it accidental, and how many times is it because of an actual addiction issue. That's what I would want to know. Man, that's just crazy. When I saw that, it really kind of struck me. It's not good. Okay. We're making a quick, easy night. Works for me. Tired again. I couldn't sleep. My spine, around my neck and my shoulder area, I don't know how to describe it. It's just out. That's about the only thing I can tell you. It's just out. It feels like it's way far off, and when you try to lay down and get comfortable, it feels like stuff is out of place all the time. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Let's see. Have another sip of coffee and a couple of vapes. I'm not in a hurry. Pill dispensers. I agree. But I have seen people still make mistakes when using them, when filling them. They help, but you definitely need to double check. For sure. Let's see. Austrian grocers, Austrian grocers to hand out food rations during blackouts. And I saw that headline, I'm like, well, I mean, okay, but they're going to be handing out food during blackouts? How long do they expect the blackouts? It's just, I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm concerned for a lot of the countries over there. Darlene, she said Canada now has ads out for euthanasia. Yes. Who was it? Was it Roy Potter? Was it him that recently, I know, I think he was one of them that was talking about it. Insanity. Absolute insanity. And I did want to comment on that. Thank you for bringing that up. I do want to comment on that. This is my concern. So, one of the things that I was raising hell about with Obamacare was about the powers that it gave the United States government. Especially powers involving, say, disabled individuals, especially disabled children. Oof. I was screaming then what I was fearful that it was preparing for. I'm still fearful of it. I think all these governments are implementing systems, and I think in some cases they're pretty much doing everything lockstep the same way. In other instances, they're approaching it from different angles. Like I've been warning about with this Musk and Twitter thing going on. I think they're coming at us from it's the patriotic, If they can get Musk to appeal to the conservatives, to stand behind him and to back him, then he will much more likely be able to be successful in his self-proclaimed attempt. I mean, this is what he more or less said he was wanting to do, is turn it into a platform like WeChat, which is instrumental in China's social credit score system. And we already know that he's involved in doing brain transplant work, brain implant work. Not transplant, implant. Jim's asking for a transplant. That's concerning to me. And then, you've got Meta doing what Meta does. Googling. I mean, you got all these companies that are just, it's the wild, wild west of the WWW, right? And it's concerning. Be careful. I don't feel comfortable with this whole Musk Twitter situation. I really don't. Let's see. China wants more Russian gas. Poland to charge Ukrainian refugees for housing. 3 people killed in Pakistan terror attack, says media. Former Chinese leader Jiang Zemin dies aged 96. And I know, I got it way wrong. Sorry, didn't I can't speak English, no less other languages. South Korea scrambles jets after spotting Chinese and Russian planes. Books to replace toys in Russian Happy Meals. Imagine that. Verdict reached in first Capitol riot conspiracy trial. And that would, I believe they're talking about the Stewart Rhodes. Let's see. Let me look up a chat here. Okay. I wanted to make sure it was cool to read, so. Darlene says, a young girl says she wants to end her life now because she can't afford to live. It's all nuts. And they're also thinking about calling the unvaxxed mental, and they want to prescribe drugs for mental. Right. Well, that's the big thing. Oh, yeah, I guess I probably should have included that a really important note about the Obamacare bill. They also, if you have been treated for like a mental illness, and I'm talking about even if you've been prescribed Prozac, guess what? You're on a list. And I shudder to think. But I think it's along the very same lines of what you were referring to. I really, not necessarily anything to do with the vax in particular, but being able to declare them unfit, so they can make their decisions, like whether they should live or not. It's crazy. And I think that's where it's going to get to. We can't keep giving these inches, if you know what I mean, because they keep taking them miles. We can't keep giving the inches. Russia announces arms spending hike. Fire breaks out at Russian oil depot near Ukrainian border. Tokyo court rules on same-sex marriage. EU chief estimates Ukraine's military losses. Oh, hang on. I didn't have this article up. Oh, okay. Right here, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has presented the total number of losses estimated to have been suffered by Ukraine in its conflict with Russia. More than 100,000 Ukrainian military officers have been killed so far, von der Leyen claimed on Wednesday, while adding that around 20,000 civilian lives have also been lost amid the fighting, which has continued since late February. And that's, if I recall correctly, along the lines of what BP's video was saying. So, there you have it. EU wants to cash in on Russia's frozen assets. Russian coal exports shipped to China. U.S. exaggerating China threat to justify nuclear buildup, says Beijing. EU's chief comment on Ukrainian military losses retracted. Kiev reacts to redacted EU assessment of its casualties. Axifus. He says New York City is talking about opening facilities for the mentally ill. Why don't they just gate off? They've got like bridges, right? Ain't that like a borough or something? They got bridges. I've never been there. Can't they just gate the whole damn thing off? There you go. I mean, there's your mental hospital. Just put fences on the bridges. Let's see. Explosion at Ukraine embassy in Madrid. Russia finalizes LGBTQ propaganda ban. Okay, Darlene said, I'm worried about my health insurance. The reason why I'm repeating these, and I need to be better at this, you guys need to make me better at this, make me get better at this, is because I trim the intro of the show out so that people that watch the recording later on don't have to sit through the intro every day. So I trim that out, and as a result of me trimming that out, I guess it wipes the chat out, so the chat replay's gone. That's why I'm reading. I'm worried about my health insurance. They are now pushing for home nurse visits. Every time they call me, I push them off. Now I won't answer the phone. This is trying to control us or something worse, I believe is what you were saying. I would agree with you on that. Darlene, I have to ask you, when you say pushing for home nurse visits, are you in any position to where you need, are you disabled, or are you elderly, or are you, give me a, is there a reason why they could even think of doing that, or are they doing that just to young, healthy people now? I'll tell you what, none of it would surprise me. Let's see. Elon Musk fed up with the Fed. Russian customs sees 4-kilogram gold chain. Damn right they did. Brazilian president-elect demands Assange's release. It would be nice. Let's see. Russian ex-president comments on retracted EU claim about Ukraine losses. I do see a number 1 up there. 1 second. Get it shared out so it's up at the top when we get there. Not anything like breaking important. Germany wants Russia to pay for higher gas prices. Oh, okay. Okay. She said she's not disabled enough for a nurse and 63, so fairly good health. Yeah, that's, I think probably in your case what that is basically them trying to spend money. They love to do that, and if they can pass money around in the medical system, they'll jump on that in a heartbeat. That's kind of what that sounds like, in my opinion. Kind of just sounds like them wanting to, spend money, make money. And I'm not gonna even remotely say that during visits there wouldn't be things answered on papers or what have you that it's crazy. When we lived in Mount Vernon, Jen and I, the apartment that we were in, our first place together, it had inspections every 3 months, I think. And, it's not a big deal. They just walked in, looked around. I believe they changed the furnace filter and, checked smoke detectors and what have you. And that's it. They just making sure you weren't tearing the place up and all that. But, I also think that, you weren't supposed to, it was against the rules to have firearms, if you lived there. Which, we didn't anyway, but that's one of the things I thought of immediately as far as them going and doing their inspections, or I'm sure that they're looking out for gun cases and stuff like that when they do their, inspection to make sure you're keeping up the place. But, we never had any problems or anything. They were always in and out, respectful. But again, we didn't have gun cases, and all that stuff. We didn't. In fact, we didn't have hardly much. It didn't take long. You walk in and just take a quick look around. You pretty much seen everything we had. We started out with nothing. So. Let's see. Germany wants Russia to pay for higher gas prices. EU facing Russian diesel problem, says Bloomberg. ISIS announces death of leader, says media. Moscow names condition for resuming arms control talks with U.S. Warsaw plans to annex parts of Ukraine, says a Russian top spy. EU threatens Musk with a Twitter ban. I read that one. And that one. Germany declares genocide in Ukraine. And then this was one that came out a while ago. Yellen hints at national security probe into Twitter purchase. Huh. Imagine that. Now, and again, I'm telling you, I would think twice before I trust what's going on with Elon and Twitter. But, definitely par for the course. But I think it's all a show, folks. I think it's a circus sideshow. Is to get people to trust them. I'll tell you. It's nuts. It is truly nuts. Well, that's all I got. I don't have anything else that I can think of. Gonna hop off and probably be headed to bed real short like. Because we live such an exciting life. Anyway, can't think of anything else. Hang in there. If you don't see me on regular bat channel, regular bat time tomorrow night, check out the watchmannews.com. Can't get me suspended from that. I'll be on the backup channel. I mean, it's not like I'll just not do anything. I'll be on the backup channel, but you'll be able to go to if you don't have a link to the backup channel, there should be, I think, one in the description of this video. Let me look. Well, Dirt Cheap Prep's YouTube channel is in there, so you can. Oh yeah, YouTube backup. It's in there. It's in there. So, yeah. If you don't see me tomorrow, just go to the backup channel, and if you, for whatever reason, can't find that link, just go to the watchmannews.com. I'll have something there right on the home page, along with links to get there. So, anyway, on that note, I hope you all have a good night. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. Thanks for coming tonight. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.